Y'all better come on in here. We got some stuff to talk about. The Cheeto man done said he is going after birthright citizenship. I don't know if you understand what that potentially means for us, but let's talk about it. What's up, guys? Good morning. Good morning. It's been a long time since I've done a coffee and conversation, but I thought it was time to check in and have a little chat because there's a whole lot of stuff going on around this big old world. And honey, that orange dude, he ain't making it easy. But I want to touch on something that's very significant that's going on right now. I've seen a lot of my friends on my timeline upset. I've seen a lot of people on my timeline, a lot of my friends on my timeline having some very heated conversations about this latest thing that dude, name shall not be mentioned on my channel, that orange dude has done or is doing around the topic of birthright citizenship. And people got mad because he said that that was made or enacted for the babies of slaves. Well, he didn't lie. I don't like to say that because he lies about a lot, but he didn't lie about that. And what I want us to do is stop getting mad that he said it and put our minds around the significance of what that means for those of us who are big thinkers, long-term thinkers, right? I want you to understand what this means. There's two real significant things here. That is, the further we get out in time and the more that media plays with things and history is twisted and all of that, we have generations of people who seem to have been boggled in their mind or convinced or brainwashed or whatever you want to call it and say that slavery didn't exist. It did exist. It did happen. It did. No matter where you want to believe that you came from, slavery did happen. That's the first significant thing. And that dude that's in the office just admitted that it did by virtue of saying that birthright citizenship was created for the babies of slaves. That's the first significant thing. Secondly, the biggest thing, and the thing that I think, this is my opinion now, this is Phoenix's opinion, this is coffee and conversation. So sip some tea, sip some coffee, say that Phoenix said it, whatever. I'm not a politico, I am not a political pundit, I am not a civil rights advocate, I guess you could say officially, but I kind of am. I'm a social advocate. I am a community advocate. I am definitely for my people. And so there are some things that I have been kind of having in smaller conversations that people looked at me a little bit twisted about. And now, so here's the biggest second thing that I think people should not be getting upset about, but should really be getting prepared to rally probably the largest potential suit against a country or government than has ever been, right? Because see, this thing about possibly repealing or doing away with birthright citizenship does not just affect those people who you deem as immigrants. It does not just affect, look at my glasses, y'all. My glasses got twisted. It does not just affect Mexicans or Asians or people from the Middle East. It doesn't just affect them. The largest people that it potentially affects, y'all, is us. We are the descendants. What have we been fighting for? What have we been arguing for? What have we been putting out the rally cry? right? For people to stand up and recognize not just who we are, but where we come from. So if in fact, y'all's president, that orange dude, has admitted, one, that slavery existed, it did happen, and two, that birthright citizenship was created so that America would have ownership, if you will, over the babies of the enslaved or newly freed enslaved, so that they would have no place to go back to. You are here. This is where you belong. You've now admitted that those babies, all of the descendants, all of the descendants of those who were enslaved in America are now officially, if this goes forward and birthright citizenship is completely done away with, then potentially we all need to be lawyering up, because now America is guilty of what we've always known it was guilty of. And that is keeping people in a place that they did not choose to be. Y'all picked the name for that. Y'all picked the name for that. There's a name for it. I'm not going to say it. I want my video to get posted. In fact, I want it to go viral. Let's think about it. Let's talk about it. Because if birthright citizenship was created for the babies of the enslaved, and birthright citizenship is no longer valid or becomes invalid, that means that those of us who are descendants of those who were enslaved in the Americas are no longer American citizens. Does that mean that the American government must now be liable for the DNA testing and for the return for any of those people who want to be returned to their country of heritage, their country of ancestry? I'm just watching. I'm just watching for a smart attorney to step up. I'm just watching for a group of people, for a group of us in America to stand up and say, okay, since y'all been telling us to go back to Africa for all of this time, pay for the ticket then. Pay for the DNA test. Tell me for real where you took me from, not or you took my people from, not a little percent of that or a little percent of that. You know, there's exact testing. Pay for the test, pay for the trip, pay for the relocation fees, pay, because see, in these governmental acts and things that bodies of government do when they have done wrong, they must then restore what they have destroyed. They must restore not just those people. If they can't restore those people, they must restore their descendants. Anybody following me along this path? Let me take a sip. Let me take a sip, child. Because I'm just watching. I'm just watching to see, because if in fact we know what we've always known, but it came out of the man's mouth. Slavery happened. Birthright citizenship was created for the babies of slaves. Right? We've made it very clear in our Where Them Fans At and the Boots on the Ground dance that the 92% wasn't concerned about what involved what was anybody else's fight. We was only concerned about our fight, right? We made that very clear. Where them fans at? That ain't our fight, okay? Well, this one is our fight, beloveds, because just let them go ahead and repeal birthright citizenship. And in effect, that means that any Black person that is verifiably an Afro-descendant, descendant of any person taken from the continent of Africa and enslaved in America, any baby or descendant of those people are no longer citizens. What y'all gonna do about that? That's what I want to know. What y'all gonna do about that? Thank you for joining me for this episode of Coffee and Conversations. Please put your comments down in the comment section. Please, let's have a talk about it. Let's have a talk about it. I want to get online with some other content creators and political experts and military experts and all of that stuff. Let's get the conversation going, baby, because if birthright citizenship goes away, what does that mean for every Black American, African American that is verifiably descended from someone who was enslaved? That means that all of their babies and their babies' babies and their babies' babies no longer belong to America, and you must now restore me. Y'all have a nice day.